Great ball striking really is the key to playing better golf. Now, I've helped hundreds, if not thousands of students strike the ball better, and I've done it in the same way. I've helped them understand what needs to happen in their golf swing to create the perfect strike, and then showing them a process to help them do that. That's exactly what I'm going to do for you in this video. I'm going to show you the elements and the pieces that need to be in your golf swing and show you how to train them. So you'll see on the line, I've painted a white line. I've just used some spray and some chalk. If you are practicing off grass, I'd love you to do this. It's one of the best little exercises that you can do. So when we look at great ball striking, what do we see? Well, we would never, ever see the golf club land behind this white line. If you took a really good player and you got them to place 100 golf balls on that white line, got them to hit a 7-9, you would see no contact this side of the line. But you would see divots and you would see ground contact this side of the line. In its simplest form, that is great ball striking. It's landing the club, target side of the ball consistently. I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's go through what is going to be involved in this. There's going to be 4 things that you have to really do in order to get this to happen in your game and make it consistent. So let's make our backswing your perfect backswing. I'm sure you've all got perfect backswings. So we're going to make our backswing. Look where the club is, in the air. Where's it got to get to? It's got to get back down to the ground. So in the downswing, there has to be some movement of your arm relative to your body. So from here, the arms have to go back down. In the backswing, your arms lift relative to your torso. They do it every golf swing. Even if you think you've got a flatter golf swing, the arms are lifting. So in the downswing, they have to do the opposite. They have to drop. So the first thing I'd love you to do is just get a feel for that. Just appreciate what arm drop is relative to your torso. So you can take a setup, you can make your backswing, take your trail hand off, and just let the club drop to the ground. Now, for those of you who thin the ball, for those of you who top the ball, those shots come when your club doesn't make contact with the ground at all. So even this is going to be different because you're appreciating that your club has got to go down. That's the first part of this little puzzle, appreciating that you can allow the arms to travel down towards the ground, and you should allow the arms to travel down towards the ground. So that's nowhere near where it needs to be. It's on the ground and it's making contact with the ground, but it's nowhere near where it needs to be because that's only the first part of this. We need to introduce some of the movements that are going to help. So the second thing that I want you to feel and sense, which is going to help that contact move from here closer to where we want it to be, is some lateral shift in the downswing. So you can see where I'm making contact with the ground here. That's where my club was landing. So just watch what happens if I do the same thing. I work the club down with my arm, but I start to add some shift. Well, now you can see that I'm contacting the ground pretty heavily, but it's now here. It's not exactly where it needs to be, but it's closer. So what we're almost doing here is almost layering up. We're adding movements which help us get to where we want to get to. And if you go through this process, you're going to start to see where you're missing that element. Which one are you missing in your golf swing? And it's really powerful because you start to not only hit it better, but you start to learn more about your own golf swing. So by having some shift towards the target and swinging my arm down, I land the club closer to where I want to. Nowhere near where it needs to be, but it's closer. So what is the third thing that you need to add in? Well, some rotation. Some rotation through your legs, your hips, and your torso. And what we're now going to get is we're going to get that contact point moving target side of the line. So I'm going to set myself up here, just inside that golf ball. Club is on the line. I'm going to go backswing. I'm going to go shift. Arm swings down, but as my arm is swinging down, I'm going to add some rotation. And when I rotate, my contact now happens target side of the line. Just look at how it went from here to here to here as we layered up the elements in our movement. So I appreciate I'm doing a little bit of damage to the golf course here. I'm going to repair all this, don't worry. But if you can get somewhere where you can do this, even a driving range mat does the same. You don't get these visible marks on the ground, but you can see where the club is landing. And just see how easy it is with one hand to get the club to land this side of the line. It's not that difficult because all we're doing is we're laying the arm swing down, we're adding some shift, and we're adding some turn. And every single time I do that, provided I blend all those movements together correctly, just look at where that contact point is. It's always target side of the line. I'm never going to fat it. I'm never going to have a shallow approach angle where I'm scooping it. I'm always going to be having the club land target side of the ball. So what you might be thinking is, yeah, I get that, Chris, but those are pretty heavy contacts into the ground. I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be slamming my club into the ground. Well, that brings us on to our last element. Something that's actually going to be a little bit counterintuitive. Because the last element is something that moves the golf club away from the ground. What we've done there is giving you 3 movements which create this real steep approach. That's good, but now we need something to sort of balance that out. So here's what you're going to do is your final element, and I'm going to show you how you can put all this together. As I'm making my rotation, I want my body to be doing 2 things through the golf ball. It needs to continue rotating, but it needs to extend. Extend is very simply this movement. Just think of it as standing up. When we take our posture, we are bent over. The opposite is standing up. So as I'm going through the golf ball, if I'm rotating and standing up, I start to get something that looks more like a finish that we'd see from really good players. They're often weight on the lead side, facing the target, nice and tall. So watch what happens as I add that element in. We go here, we go shift and turn, club is heavy, turn and rotate. Look at the difference. Look how it went from a heavy contact to a really nice contact. I would still have a negative attack angle, I'd still be hitting down, I'd still land the club in the right place, but I've now got ground contact, which is really, really nice. So, let me show that again. We go backswing. Here are your elements. Arms down and shift, arms down, shift and turn, arms down, shift, turn, get taller. So what you can then start to do is you can start to use this line that you've painted as your, I call it the lie detector. It now allows you to see where the club is landing relative to the line. So as I hit a couple of shots now, I'm going to be adding all of those elements in. I'm going to be adding arm swing. I'm going to be adding lateral shift. I'm going to be adding rotation. And I'm going to be adding extension. And when I add all those things together, I get what I want. And you can see, if you come a little bit closer and just have a look at where that divot started. There is the line, so that is where my golf ball was, and the divot is target side. That is what we're after.